psyche needing a post-World Series sweep. Pick me up. So these fans turn to the team that's been atop the Mile High City for decades. Their 3-3 Broncos host Brett Favre and the 5-1 Packers on Monday Night Football. Hi everyone, Mike Tirico, so glad you're with us here in the Rockies tonight. Well, here you have Denver at 3-3. You know they could be 0-6 real easy. All three of their wins came on last play of the game field goals by Jason Elam. That's the glass half empty. The glass half full is their young quarterback, Jay Cutler, against a good Pittsburgh team. They played his best game of his brief 2-year career last Sunday night. So that promise carries the Broncos forward, thinking maybe they've come across a hurdle. But Tony Kornheiser, Ron Jaworski, Jay Cutler, and the other 88 guys in the field, they take a back seat tonight because it's Monday Night Football with a team with a 5-1 record and the NFL quarterback of record in Brett Favre.
Well, we all know Brett Favre plays the game with great emotion, great passion. But what I love about Brett Favre at 38 years old is that little kid enthusiasm for the game. And tonight, he's going to have to muster up all the enthusiasm he can because it leads a Packer offense that is one-dimensional. They are dead last in running the football. They have no proven running back. Favre is going to have to carry the offense. As I've broken down this team getting ready for tonight's game, there were actually two games earlier this season against Minnesota and San Diego where the Green Bay Packers in 31 snaps did not even have a running back on the field. So they clearly believe in throwing the football. And Brett Favre on Monday night would have it no other way. The burden of the Packers to move the football are on his shoulders.
And Tony, his is a familiar face that we never really get tired of seeing.
Absolutely. In a few moments, Deanna Favre will tell you why everyone loves her husband, Brett. And you're going to want to see that. Now I'm going to tell you why everyone watches him. Many athletes are great, but very few make the needle move. Very few cause you to sit in front of the TV for hours just because you don't want to miss what they do and the way that they do it. We watch Tiger Woods on Sunday in red because every shot he takes carries with it the possibility of something so great that you would hate yourself if you missed it, like that chip in at Augusta and the fist pumps that followed it. We watched Michael Jordan in that same way because every time he held the ball in his hands, he might deliver something unforgettable, like that jump shot over Craig Elo, or all those times when Jordan hung gracefully in midair like a portrait. It's the same with Favre, who at 38 now qualifies as an actual living legend. Nobody, not even Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, brings the flair that Favre does. Nobody shows more enthusiasm. He doesn't make all the crazy throws that he tries, but he'll keep trying them no matter how many times they're picked off because nothing ever discourages him. He always thinks that the next one is going for 6. And that's why we give him a hall pass for all those ridiculous interceptions, because Brett Favre will keep slinging, and the next pass, he might fit through the eye of a needle and then jump into someone's arms like a teenager. Look, you don't just get to watch Brett Favre, you have to watch him.
And what did John Lynch say, the defensive back for the Broncos? You don't want to be a fan, but he's easy to watch. Speaking of Lynch, he's wearing a microphone tonight. Favre's wife, Deanna, and Vince Vaughn, the actor, are in the booth. And the soundtrack for Monday Night Football provided by the Eagles. And this telecast is available in high definition on ESPN HD, presented by DLP HD TV. As the Broncos take the field, we go to the sideline, and Susie Colbert on the backfield issues for Green Bay in a second. But first, we'll start with Michelle Tafoya. Same deal for the Broncos. They've got a backfield situation as well.
They do, Mike. Denver running back Travis Henry is out with a rib injury, but the Broncos never seem to have a shortage of running backs. Tonight, Selden Young, an undrafted rookie free agent out of Texas, becomes another in a long line of no-name running backs to crack the starting lineup for the Broncos. But will he be another diamond in the rough, like 6th rounder Terrell Davis, who became a 3-time Pro Bowler, or 6th rounder Mike Anderson, who became the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2000 with 15 touchdowns, or last year's undrafted phenom Mike Bell, who had 8 touchdowns on the season. Now, Young is averaging just 3 carries per game, so the question is, how will he handle 20 to 25 carries as the starter tonight? Now over to Susie.
Well, Michelle, in the something's got to give department, you have the Broncos and the worst rush defense in the NFL against the Packers and the worst rush offense. Since Amon Green left in free agency, this running back rotation has been in disarray. Young, inexperienced guys rotating in and out because of injuries since training camp. Mike McCarthy admitted to us last night, my mistake to think we could do running back by committee. That said, rookie Deshaun Wynn will not only get the start tonight, he'll carry the bulk of the load. His #1 goal, be physical and play with attitude. Mike, the time is now to see a change because, as Brett Favre said, the lack of balance on offense will haunt us.
All right, Suze, we've got inexperience in the offensive backfield, experience in the defensive backfield, or I'll tell head-to-head. Charles Woodson and Champ Bailey, two of the guys hawking the passes. You don't want to miss Deanna Favre before kickoff. Next.
We first laid eyes on you on an autumn Sunday. You, the little boy from Dixie, drawing up plays in the Mississippi mud, never growing old. All these years later, you remain as genuine as you were that day. You are ours because you stood by us, not only in triumph, but more importantly, in times of despair, celebrating timeless victories and honoring those tragically lost. As the years pass, the doubters increase in volume. He's too old. He's lost a step. It's time to go. Pay them no attention, for we are survivors. Legends write their own stories. My Brett, our Favre.
Brett's wife, Deanna, on the future Hall of Fame quarterback she describes as her best friend. From the death of parents to drug and alcohol treatment to her battle with breast cancer, they've shared pain, tough times spent in the public eye, yet strengthened by a seemingly inexorable bond. As she said, they are survivors. Deanna's going to join us in the booth in the second quarter. We'll wait to see her husband Brett take the field momentarily as the Broncos have won the toss and will receive. Goosebumps, man, that's unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, Jaws and I, when we saw that for the first time, literally had tears in our eyes, and as we assume, almost everyone who saw it did.
Absolutely right. Very special.
All right, Andre Hall and Glenn Martinez back deep to receive. Mason Crosby, former Colorado Buff, comes back to the Rockies, and after indecision, Hall brings it out and is tackled at the 18-yard line by the Packers' Charlie Pepper. Well, on the other side, it is Jay Cutler. We have a penalty marker down, so we'll find out where this Broncos drive will actually start from as Cutler gets set to come out. Ron Winter is our referee tonight.
After the play, personal foul, number 26 of the return team. Penalized half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's Paul Smith, one of the backup running backs for the Broncos. So Cutler will get it started back at the 9-yard line. There is a tie between Brett Favre and Jay Cutler. They share an agent, and Cutler's gotten to meet Favre and spend some time around him. And there's another tie that the quarterbacks call a hose, a big old arm, and they both got as good an arm as you'll find in the NFL.
Yeah, it was fun. I spent some time before the game with Jay Cutler and Brett Favre. They have great respect and admiration for each other.
So from the 9, Cutler to work. Play action to Travis Henry, or rather to Selvin Young, and a shovel pass is incomplete, not held on to. And that Favre-type play by Chad Mustard, the backup tight end.
It's absolutely a Favre-type play. I mean, we've spent the last few days wondering, is Cutler one of the heirs apparent to Brett Favre? And people talk about Romo, but Mike Shanahan said that he saw more in Cutler than Tony Romo. That pass is out of the Brett Favre playbook, but usually the guy catches it.
Cutler in his second year. Selvin Young, the free agent rookie from Texas, behind him. Puts on the brakes and hits the tight end Daniel Graham, the former New England Patriot, gain of a dozen. First down to the 21. Atari Bigby with the tackle.
Okay, there were two big moves last year at the quarterback position, Jaws. In one, Tony Romo, who just signed a deal today, a big deal with the Cowboys. Tony Romo replaced Drew Bledsoe, led his team to the playoffs. Now that team is 6-1. And the other real big move, Mike Shanahan dropped Jake Plummer for Jay Cutler, who you loved last year. You loved coming out as a rookie. He did not have the success Romo did. They're waiting for it right now in Denver.
First carry for Young. Selvin gets around A.J. Hawk and to the 25-yard line. Wanted the late hit as he went down. I'm going to mark him out at the 24, an official gain of 3.
Just to get back to that, what made that so unusual was that Jake Plummer had a fabulous winning percentage, right, in the regular season, and you would just drop him and you then miss the ball.
And that's the key, a winning percentage, but they never won a championship. For Mike Shanahan, it's about hoisting the Vince Lombardi trophy. He felt that the vertical game could come back to the Broncos offense with Cutler as a quarterback and not Plummer.
Maximum blockers, Young, nice cutback, and that is the way you run it in Denver. Stick a foot in the ground and cut it up, and Selvin Young got it for the first down. Maybe the most famous thing Selvin Young did in his football career was throw the block for unrelated Vince Young as Texas won the national championship in the Rose Bowl a few seasons back. He was a running back at Texas who, because of an ankle injury in academics, fell off the radar a little bit, but now is getting an opportunity here because of the injury to Travis Henry.
And Mike, you could immediately see why he's got the start. He has that 1 foot in the ground, hit that cutback, the zone blocking scheme. His style is a good fit for the Broncos offense.
And for the 32, Cutler. Hot shot held on to by the tight end Tony Scheffler. First down at the 43-yard line, a gain of 11.
Tony, this is exactly what I was talking about. Sticking the throw into a very tight window. That was a laser throw right here. Look at him wind up and squeeze this ball in there. Just a great throw to Scheffler, and a heck of a catch because this ball has some smoke on it. But I like the fact that he maintained his balance and mechanics in delivering that football. Moving his left, he set up properly, got his feet under him, and delivered a strike.
We should say that of the class of quarterbacks in the first round with Matt Leinart and Vince Young and Jay Cutler, even before the draft, you like Cutler the most.
Well, the throws I saw at Vanderbilt projected well to the National Football League. The sampling is still small. Time will tell.
Another one receiver set here. They'll run Selvin Young to the right side. Charles Woodson takes him down. He gets to the 47-yard line. And Brandon Marshall, the receiver for the Broncos, introduces us to the rest of the offense.
Okay, Money Mike. I'm about to introduce the Denver Bronco Young Guns. Up front, paving the way, you have Dewey, the Chris Cooper. Also, Daniel Graham, the boss. And out wide, yes, America, you know who he is, Brandon, the slot machine Stokely. And in the back, Cecil the Diesel Sapp. And our head, our captain, Jay the Clutch Cutler.
But the people missing Rod Smith, the veteran who's not played all year after his hip surgery, and Javon Walker, the former Packer, whose knee is bothering him again. Kabir Baja-Biamila and A.J. Hawk with the tackle on Young. And before the next play, Nick Barnett, the linebacker, with the intros on the Green Bay defense.
On our defensive line, bringing the pressure all night is Aaron Canton, Mr. Sack-O-Matic himself. And stuffing the run on the defensive line is Ryan the Big Picket Fence. Now to probably the hardest hitting linebacking core, led by myself, A.J. the Hawkamania, Brady the Swarming Mormon. Now probably the 2 most underrated corners in the NFL, Al, lock him up, throw away to Key Harris, and Charles, I just make plays Woodson.
And we'll see if the defense makes a play as the Broncos work out of the gun for 3rd and 3. Glenn Martinez, the second-year receiver, is in short motion. And against a 4-man rush, Cutler throws high for Martinez. Incomplete. The pressure from Kabir Baja-Biamila. Jared Bush on the coverage. And after a couple of first downs, the Broncos will punt the ball.
Excellent job by the Green Bay secondary on that 3rd down and 4 to go. The Denver Broncos are converting 3rd down situations over 50%. Number 3 in the league, a very good 3rd down team. But the Packers really did a good job of plastering their coverage.
See those impressive numbers for Sauerbrunn, averaging over 50 his last 5 games. Charles Woodson goes back to receive. Sauerbrunn with the big leg, see if he can pin him inside the 10. Woodson will let it go. And on the bounce, it is untouched. Touchback. So only a net of 30. And Brett Favre for the Packers will take over for the 20. Get a sniff. Get ready. Because Favre's coming out when you come back. Well, a rare visit, and probably the final visit in Denver for Brett Favre, who has rewritten the NFL record book this season. More wins than anybody ever, more touchdown passes than anyone, and more attempts than anyone. History of the league. His running back's Deshaun Wynn, who has 49 carries in his career. Drive starts from the 20. To Donald Driver, the veteran who takes the short catch and makes some moves to gain 4 yards in front of Nate Webster, the linebacker. And Ron, you say, and you talked about they don't have a great running game. A lot of their running game comes out of that play like that.
And it really was. That was a running play call, is what we call smoke. If the corner, a la Champ Bailey, playing off Donald Driver 6 or 7 yards, Brett Favre will abandon the running call to stand up and throw the ball out. That time it picked up 4 yards.
There you see the numbers. Fewest run attempts, most pass attempts per game, NFL. Second and 6. Second throw from Favre. Dropped by Greg Jennings, the second-year receiver out of Western Michigan. Third down coming up.
Obviously, he's supposed to catch that ball. It leads to the question. Now you put Favre in the 3rd and long. Will we see the good Favre tonight, or will we see the bad Favre? For 3.5 games, he was fabulous. He had 9 touchdowns and 1 interception through the first half against the Bears. From the second half against the Bears and against the Redskins, no touchdowns and 4 interceptions. And that's what it's all about with Brett Favre, interceptions, because he will keep throwing it. Somebody's going to catch it, either the guy on his team or the guy on the other team.
2 speed defensive ends, Elvis Dumervil and Simeon Rice in the game for Favre. Takes the snap from Jason Spitz, the reserve center, and swings it out to Ryan Grant. Champ Bailey in the open field. Green Bay, 3 and out.
Well, we heard that the Packers have been working on their running game in their week off. Well,
how did it look to you?
They threw 3 passes, so yeah, you got Brett Favre, throw it.
Champ Bailey didn't play last week. Ready to go this week. Bailey missing the Pittsburgh game with a thigh injury. It's bothered when he plants with that left foot. He said it was feeling better when we saw him on practice on Saturday, and John Ryan kicks it. The second-year man who played in Canada for his university ball, as they call it up there. Big kick to Glenn Martinez from the 15. Good sideline return for Martinez. A 25-yard return to the 40-yard line. So it nets only 35. The kick was 61. Desmond Bishop, the tackle. Striking scenery, spectacular place to visit and live. Red Rocks, part of that amphitheater where so many great concerts and evenings have been enjoyed by the people in Denver.
And that guy who's enjoyed maybe a few too many evenings in Denver.
Barrowman.
Barrowman.
Yeah. Barrowman had said that he was going to retire back about a decade ago, but he keeps coming back. This, he says, is his final season. Selvin Young on the first down carry from the 40. It's about 2 yards. Aaron Campman helping to bring him down.
So then he's sort of like the Brett Favre of Barrowmen in that every single year we wonder, is this it? And now finally, he's just going to keep going.
I think
it's
so.
okay, because who's better in a barrel than him, really?
He fills it out. He does, yeah. This Broncos offense, guys, they have not put a lot of points on the board. And I think people wonder, why is this an offense that has had fits and starts as the season has gone on? Well, I mentioned a few key points. No Rod Smith all year. Now Javon Walker out. So a young quarterback has some new and moving pieces surrounding him. They're coming off their best offensive game of the year against Pittsburgh last week. Against the blitz, time for Cutler. Complete to Daniel Graham. Forward progress gives him the first down in front of Atari Bigby.
You know, Cutler has outstanding mechanics. Outside the pocket, his quarterback rating is 139, best in the NFL. Here's why. Watch him lead that front foot. And he flexes the knee. Watch him flip the hip through this throw. Good mechanics lead to consistent quarterbacking. That's what you're getting out of Jay Cutler. Flip the hips. You got that, Tony?
I love that.
And you see, with the mobility, he can get outside the pocket. And when he is outside the pocket, best passer rating, which combines all the stats, and best completion percentage. Back screen to Young. Got away from a would-be tackle. Tripped up after the first down by Nick Collins. Get him out to the 37-yard line. A pickup of 13. The extra whistles were to stop the blocking downfield with Al Harris and Brandon Marshall.
Excellent job by Jay Cutler setting up the screen. It's a screen left and a screen right. He does a good job of looking left, playing a game with the linebackers and the defensive line, drawing the rush to him, then checking the ball down to Selvin Young. You know, we talk about screens being good offensive linemen in the screen game, a running back in the screen game. It's paramount that the quarterback execute the mechanics as well.
Selvin Young gets a break. Andre Hall out of South Florida, who's never carried it till now. Welcome to the league. Brought down by Nick Barnett, gain of a yard. Hall was at South Florida in his first year. So no Travis Henry, no Javon Walker, no Rod Smith. Maybe that all contributes to the lack of points that they've been able to produce. Let's go even deeper. Their average starting field position, last in the league. They've had to go a long way. Points per game low, but yards is 6. So Ron, they move it, but they don't get as much out of it as you should.
And you said it, Mike, their possession, where they start their drives, their own 25-yard line. In this league, you don't go 75 yards very often, and they've only started 3 drives on the other side of their opponent's 50.
Play action to Hall. Cutler comes back across the middle, and it's knocked down. It's a dangerous throw. Nick Collins was there waiting to knock it away. The third-year safety was a second-round pick out of Bethune-Cookman.
On that same point, Jaws, about scoring, you know, there's a lot of statistics out there, total offense, rushing offense, this offense, that offense. Scoring points and giving up points is the only one that ought to matter.
It really is.
That's it.
It's the only one that eventually
so
counts.
You can be 5th, 4th, and 3rd and everything, and if you're 28th in scored points, doesn't help you.
But there are reasons why. And statistics will give you some reasons why, or give you a blueprint of why a team may be struggling to score points.
Needing to get to the 28 to keep the drive alive. Good pickup, and the throw for Stokely. Brandon Stokely couldn't keep his balance, but was hit after he went out of bounds. It'll take it inside the 10, first and goal for Denver. Atari Bigby will get the flag.
Mike, what I love about Cutler on this play, we've already broken down some plays of Cutler where he was a thrower. Good mechanics, delivering lasers. Here we saw him as a passer, delivering the football over a linebacker.
After the runner was out of bounds, personal foul, late hit, number 20, defense. After this is to the goal, and a first down.
And that'll take it down to the 7.5. It's a hard spot for Bigby to stop, but clearly Stokely had a foot on the paint, and by the book, that's a no-brainer.
Stokely could be in Hollywood with that type of acting.
Brandon Stokely.
Slot machine.
Yeah, got that slot machine nickname as the slot receiver with Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison in Indianapolis. Selvin Young back in. Wrapped up by Bigby on the bottom and Brady Papinga on the top. But a good gain on first down to about the 3. To that last play again.
Stokely, a very difficult defender. There he is in the slot. You see him coming across the field. Look at this, all the way across the field from just outside the hash. Catches the ball all the way across the field. The play worked because Cutler had time to throw it.
From Tony Scheffler, the tight end, into the slot up high. They'll run to Young, who put on the brakes and got brought down. I know the tackle was made by Kabir Bajabiamila, but Aaron Campman was there to push that one in the backfield, and it'll be 3rd and goal from the 5.
Well, this is clearly the area of the field, Tony, where the Denver Broncos have struggled. Right. They have a sustained offense down to the red zone, that area inside the 20-yard line. They have not been successful in this area of the field. And you would think they would be because they have a tall wide receiver in Brandon Marshall. They have excellent receiving tight ends. You would think they would be more successful in this area, but they're not.
Marshall lines up behind Glenn Martinez at the bottom. Stokely short motion at the top. And Cutler throws. Man tackled. Bigby, another flag. Pass interference on Scheffler. It'll be 1st and goal at the 1.
Excellent route by Scheffler. It was a stick, nod, go.
Pass interference. Defense number 20. Foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball is placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
You'll see it right here. Daniel Graham sticks to the outside, nods, and then goes over the middle. And you can clearly see Bigby with the interference.
Not one of the great drives for Bigby, who's now contributed 2 major penalties. He's not going to want to see the replay of the whole drive, Jaws.
No, he won't.
Cecil Sapp has checked into the game for the Broncos. Always a productive back. Leading the way as Young is tied up by Cullen Jenkins. So you see a play like that, and you go, why in the world take a flag like that in the end zone? Well, you never know what's going to happen on 1st and goal from the 1. Now it's 2nd and goal from the 6.
Cullen Jenkins, number 77 right here. It's all about penetration. That's how you stop the run. He penetrates into the backfield. In fact, 3 yards deep in the backfield.
Look at that.
Cullen Jenkins with the great play.
Ball carrier disappears from sight. Disappears. Can't find him.
6'2", 303 pounds, Cullen Jenkins. That's why ball carriers disappear.
That's right.
And Selvin Young at 207 pounds. I think Jenkins had a little bit of a weight advantage.
3 tight ends, 1 receiver, 1 back. Cutler on the boot. Will he keep it? No, he's directing. Fires it. Caught. Touchdown, Scheffler. Cutler kept it alive, and that gun helped set up the first score of the night.
I probably shouldn't say this. That's more scoring than the Rockies got in 4 games, I think.
You just did.
Excellent job by Jay Cutler. Get him on the perimeter. Extend the play. Once he gets out here, everyone's covered. He keeps moving. Now he allows the receivers to uncover. Good field vision. He finds Scheffler for the touchdown.
And to know you have a strong enough arm to stop and make that throw snapping back. Jason Elam adds the extra point. For Tony Scheffler, career touchdown catch 5. Cutler very sharp on that 10-play drive. Touchdown catch by Tony Scheffler. Very good drive, and a lot of the passes in that drive by Jay Cutler thrown outside the pocket. He's now thrown 17 touchdown passes in his NFL career. 8 from the pocket, 9 from outside the pocket, and he's done it on a lot less throws, just about 44, 45 throws from outside the pocket in his entire career. So he's very good on the move. 7-0. Tramon Williams, the kick return. Brought down just over the 21-yard line. The special teams charge was led by Jamie Winborn and Steve Cargile. Favre will take the field. No first downs, no points. Down 7. Just 2 miles from Coors Field, where the World Series was the last 2 nights. There's beautiful Invesco Field at Mile High. And much like Coors had a lot of Red Sox fans, significant number of Packer fans in this building here tonight. From the 21 Favre. 4th throw, deep ball for James Jones. Hauled in by the rookie, who cuts it back to the middle. He beat Champ Bailey on the route and goes all the way to the pylon for a touchdown. .79 yards on the score in the cutback by Jones. One of the officials was run into by the players. Didn't exactly see which players it was, but we have one of the officials shaken up on the play. Both medical staffs come out to look at the official. Back to Favre, who throws his 10th touchdown of the season.
Excellent job by Favre. John Lynch was down in the box. That means you're going to have one-on-one, an isolation route on the outside. You saw Brett Favre do a nice job of looking to his left. That kept the safety in center field, Nick Ferguson, so that gave you the one-on-one on the outside. Watch Favre. Nice job off the play action. Looks his left, then comes back to the right. Oh, that's just a sweet throw right on the money.
Look, we spent a good deal of time talking about Jay Cutler on the first drive, and a very, very nice drive. That, what you just saw, is why people watch Monday Night Football when Brett Favre is on. Because it can happen at any point. He will drop back, and he will do something so spectacular that you'll say, whatever it cost me to buy this set, whatever it cost me to get this cable package, I'm halfway home now, because I saw Brett Favre do that.
You know, it was interesting when I looked at the formation. They had James Jones matched against Champ Bailey in a 3-wide receiver set, 2 backs in the backfield. So they tried to create a matchup. So clearly the Packers must have believed that they could get James Jones to run by Champ Bailey. You'll see it right here. There's the play action. It's man-to-man. Just a little stutter there by James Jones that throws Champ Bailey for just a second. Then the cutback. And then the zebra goes down, and he appears to be all right. And James takes it to the house.
The back judge, Jim Howie, was the official who was shaken up on the play, and now he's being helped off the field by the Denver medical staff. And let's go down to Michelle on the sideline.
When Howie took that hit, Mike, he dropped like a rag doll, and he was lying face down on the field for what seemed like 30 seconds before the medical staff got to him. He was very slow to turn over. Indications are down here his back is in a lot of pain. You see him getting helped off there, but this is really very rare to see an official take that kind of hit, Mike.
Yeah, usually if it ever happens, Michelle, it's the umpire who's in the wash of the play standing behind the linebackers. So Howie will be looked at by the medical staff. They'll go to the formation that the officials talk about all the time, where 6 officials will work the game and they'll cover different portions of the field. Meantime, Mason Crosby, the rookie out of Colorado, adds the extra point. Our game is tied at 7 apiece.
Jaws, I thought nobody ever throws at Champ Bailey. And when they do throw at Champ Bailey, they don't beat him. That guy beat Champ Bailey.
Just 23 seconds after the touchdown pass by Jay Cutler, Brett Favre responds with an answer to those who have saying, oh, does Favre have the arm anymore? Because a couple of passes in their last game, 2 weeks ago, they had a bye against Washington, he underthrew. And they said, well, wait a minute, can he still get it out there? There's your answer on that 79-yard score to James Jones.
You know, and Mike, pregame, I was standing at the 50-yard line with Brett. We're just talking about arm strength. I'm asking how his arm felt. He said, Jaws, I'm going to put my toes on the 50. See that pylon in the corner of the end zone? Watch me hit it. He threw a laser 50 yards and hit the pylon. His arm is fine.
Crosby kicks deep. Andre Hall will take it out this time. Hall ran into his own man, Jamie Winborn, but still gets it out just shy of the 29. John Kuhn, the tackle. Well, Favre has had moments on Monday Night Football. One of the quarterbacks to have a 99-yard touchdown pass. Remember that one in Chicago to Robert Brooks, and then Antonio Freeman. As our friend Al said, he did what on that play? The 43-yard touchdown as the Packers beat the Vikings 26-20 with an overtime stunner. So Favre has certainly had the big moments on Monday Night Football. He's been on Monday Night Football a lot.
He owns Monday night.
He's been in the league 40 years. He invented Monday Night Football.
He's been around. They're good. They've been on a bunch, right?
So much fun to watch.
So Cutler and the Bronco offense back on the field, and Selvin Young with a flag down. He gains about 8, shy of the 36, but we'll check the penalty.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 97, 15-yard penalty, and a first down.
So another major penalty on the Packers. That's 3 with 2 pass interferences and the 15-yard face mask.
It's kind of fun watching Mike Shanahan, the offensive coordinator and head coach for the Broncos, kind of coordinating this offense. Comes out early in the game with 3 tight ends, 1 wide receiver. This drive, he comes out spreading the field with 3 wide receivers, probing that Packer defense, trying to find a flaw.
It's all about the probing, Jim.
Probing, that's correct.
Cutler in on that little boot. Very little opening to get to Daniel Graham. But a penalty marker is down, as there may have been some holding in the secondary. Brady Papinga was out in coverage.
Holding, defense number 21, 5-yard penalty, and a first down.
21 is Charles Woodson. 4th first down via penalty for the Broncos.
So I was going to say, can they get a play where there is no penalty?
Yeah, and you see Charles Woodson on Brandon Stokely. He loves that position, that press, bump, and run, being physical. You can see right there, he does grab the jersey of Brandon Stokely. And, of course, the side judge will see that.
And the officials having to work with 6 because of the injury to Jim Howie. It's a strained hamstring, the early report from the locker room. So as they work with 6 officials, Young is tackled in the backfield. And Atari Bigby atones for a couple of the penalties he had in the first quarter with a 5-yard loss.
When a safety is in that position, making plays in the backfield, that's a play Cutler's going to have to get out of. You're outnumbered. If the safety is getting nosy near the line of scrimmage, you have those one-on-one on the outside. Take the easy throw, take the positive play. Don't force the ball where it shouldn't go, a run with a safety sitting up the line of scrimmage.
Three receivers, one back. 5 in the pattern, and Stokely is there at the 31. First down for Brandon, a gain of 18 in front of Al Harris. Cutler sharp here tonight.
Excellent job by Brandon Stokely working the route on Al Harris. Al Harris may be the best press corner in the National Football League. When he's off, he is not as good. Stokely got him off on his route, worked the route to the inside, and came back to the sideline. Of course, another one of those lasers from Jay Cutler. Tony, you like that? You like that laser word?
I do.
Yeah, good.
You've always liked Cutler. It's like you're developing a man crush on this guy.
The 31. Pressure comes with the delayed blitz. Cutler got rid of it. Marshall didn't hang on. Incomplete. A.J. Hawk timed the pressure. Here's Susie Colbert.
Well, guys, if you're looking for similarities between these two quarterbacks, maybe nobody knows them better than their mutual agent, Bus Cook. He actually met both their dads first, and he said even their dads were alike. Just good old hardworking guys. In our conversation today, Bus must have said they're so much alike about 10 times. These guys are down-to-earth, outdoor guys. They like to hunt. Personality's the same, even their mannerisms. And the mentality on the field is toughness. You can't drag them out of a game, and they're so confident in their ability. They're not afraid to lose the game. They'll take the chance if it means they can win.
Cutler pressure for the 31. Screen to Young. He's got room. Selvin Young picking up blocks inside the 10. First and goal at the 7. A gain at 24 and a well-timed play call by Shanahan.
We had a chance to talk to Jay Cutler on Saturday afternoon. He actually showed me the first 15 plays of the game and they were going to call. And these screen passes were a major part of those first 15 plays. And you can see he is working them very effectively, working the edge right now of that Packer defense.
"13 first downs in this first quarter for the Broncos. Only one for the Packers. Andre Hall is the back, and Hall spinning inside the 5. As A.J. Hawk pulled at the ball, Hall held on, and we'll have second and goal from inside the 2 when the second quarter begins. Well, relatively unknown running backs, a quarterback making his 12th start without the top 2 receivers. The Broncos offense put up a good quarter, but Favre's home run, the equaling response. Quarterbacks have combined for 11 of 16. They've thrown for 196 yards, and it's been an aerial show with a couple of touchdowns. One from Cutler, one from Favre. With Michelle Tafoya, Susie Colbert on the sideline, Mike Tirico, Ron Jaworski, Tony Kornheiser in the booth. All tied at 7 after 1, and an impressive quarter from Jay Cutler showing his arm strength.
And clearly a big play in that drive that continues right now is to Brandon Stokely. And you'll see the big arm of Jay Cutler as he sets up in the pocket. He's looking to his left. Look at him snap the hips. Look at the ball come out of his hand. Now, hey, Baseball World Series just ended. The speed on that throw was 57 miles per hour. That's a Major League Baseball equivalent of a 96-mile-per-hour fastball. Jay Cutler can rotate the spheroid.
So that's good speed if you're a closer. Or a good starter.
Good starter,
96.
too.
Sure. Absolutely.
Quarter begins with Selvin Young as the back. Cecil Sapp offset. And Cutler lost the football. It's free. And diving in with the Packers, and they may have recovered. They have. Nick Barnett diving in to get it. And Jay Cutler, who has had problems with fumbles in those first dozen starts, with a mega mistake from the 1. So the Packers will take the field. They dodge a bullet. The exchange between Chris Myers and Cutler. Not good. Back here in Denver, Packers take over at the 1. We'll show you the replay in a second. You're not going to believe how that ball came out. Deshaun Wynn is the running back. And carries left side, that running game that gives him nothing there. Nate Webster leading the charge. Here's what happened on the fumble.
Now, when the ball is snapped, you'll see Cutler right there. It looks like he's going to look to his left, but the guard there right now, Chris Cooper, comes around in the running play. You'll see it right here. Cooper's right hand comes up and knocks the ball out of Jay Cutler's hand. But it looked to me like Cutler was looking out to the left to throw a pass, and it was clearly a running play to the right.
That's unbelievable. You never see that, Ron.
No, I mean, clearly Cooper knocked the ball out of his hand.
Ryan Grant is the deep back. 6 carries in his career. Pressure picked up, and Favre throws for space, complete to Donald Lee, with John Lynch trying to wrestle it away. It's ruled a catch at the 16, and a first down for Green Bay.
I'll go back to that play, the Denver play, for a second, because that, in microcosm, is a symbol of their season. They march Jaws all the way down the field. So they pad all their statistics for offense, but they cannot and do not score. That's what's happened to them all year.
And it's one of those fluke plays. And another fluke play right there. You get to the 1-yard line, you got the right play called, and a fluke play with Cooper knocking the ball out of Cutler's hand.
Green Bay 6 plays, 1 run, 5 passes. Second run, it's Ryan Grant left to the 23-yard line. Penalty marker down. It is Grant and Deshaun Wynn as 1-2 in the running game. Their first year of pro action.
Holding. Defense number 99. A 5-yard penalty and a first down.
Lineups for the Packers offense from Mark Tauscher, their right tackle.
Starting at left tackle, the president of Justin Timberlake's fan club, Chad Clifton. Alaska's finest at left guard, Darren College. Our wide receivers leading the league in yards after catch, led by Donald Driver and Greg Jennings. And of course, our quarterback, Vinny Testaverde's dad, Brett Favre.
Tauscher is making his 100th start. A former Badger from Wisconsin playing in his home state. Favre on the edge. For Greg Jennings, incomplete. Chased by Jerome Cox. Here's Dre Blythe to introduce us to the Denver defense.
In this Monday night showdown against the Packers, in order for us to win this game, we must continue to stop the run like we did last week. Our big boys up front must have a big day. And we must disguise our coverages on the back end. If we do that, myself and Champ will have a field day. And we will keep these receivers contained.
Champ Bailey could not do that on the second Packer drive. Beat by James Jones with a 79-yard touchdown. 2nd and 10. Still Ryan Grant in for Deshaun Wynn. And the former Golden Domer runs it shy of the 35 before 3rd and about 3.5. Michelle?
Well, Denver safety John Lynch came off the field. He is in some pain. I see him moving his right hand quite a bit, sort of clenching it and letting it go as though there's something wrong. The trainers have looked at his neck. They've tested the strength in both hands, and they've looked at that right arm as well. But you see him there talking to the athletic training staff on the bench. And again, just that right hand clenching and letting it go. He's walking to the sideline, but not with his helmet, Mike.
Always the first sign he's not ready to go back in. The 8-time Pro Bowler waits. 3rd and 3 with a little bit of room. Pass is complete to keep this drive alive. Once again to Donald Lee. A pickup of 6, and here's Susie.
Well, Mike, the knock on Deshaun Wynn, who was a 7th-round pick out of Florida, was his toughness. And since early summer, he's been plagued by injuries. That's why he hasn't really gotten a full shot at the starting job. In that first series, he was knocked out, came over to the sideline. Couldn't really tell what the problem is, but they were saying it's a shoulder, and now he's questionable.
And this is the man, Susie, who they turned it over to. A quad injury in training camp. Injury missing pretty much the start of the preseason, only getting healthy enough to show well in the Tennessee preseason game and earn a job. Denver had personnel issues, and because of the secondary confusion, Lee gets the first down at the 45-yard line. It's a pickup of 14. Denver was running players in and out. The injury to Lynch has screwed him up in the secondary.
Yeah, they only had 10 players on the field, and Favre apparently recognized it because he went to the right receiver. That's what you got to do in Donald Lee. And Favre does a nice real job throwing his left of opening up. Nice. You know, he's not always the best looking guy mechanically, but the ball gets to the right guy, and usually accurately.
Lee this drive, 3 catches, 34 yards, including that big one from off the goal line at the 2 before. Remember, this drive started at the 1. And Grant runs to the 41. Pretty good job on first down, gaining 4.
It's amazing that they're actually running the ball at all, since they never run the ball. They line up most of the time, right, Jaws, without any running backs. Yeah. And why? Because Brett Favre, at 38, a living legend, is better than any of their running backs at delivering the ball and getting it downfield. Because even without running backs, they're not going 3 and out most of the time. They're getting down the field because of Favre.
72% of their play calling in the first half, their first 6 games, pass.
Ryan Krause, tight end, activated because of the injury to Bubba Franks a couple of weeks ago, is in the lineup. And Grant runs into the secondary. Ryan Grant to the 18-yard line. What a drive this is for the Packers. 23 on the gain. Corey Hall used to be a linebacker at Boise State. Now the fullback. Great block.
There's something to point out that Denver is dead last in the league in rushing defense. And any team that can run at all, and we didn't think Green Bay could run it all, but any team that could run it all can do that apparently all day long. It's just a question, can Green Bay find a back who can hold it?
Broncos had 12 guys on the field running people in and out. And the run by Grant gives them about 6, but they'll take the flag and take 1st and 5 at this point at the 12-yard line.
John Lynch goes out, and his Denver defense is really out of rhythm right now.
And another Broncos shaken up. Let me give credit to the officials who are working with 6. The back judge who was injured, one of his jobs is to count the defensive players. So that's a very hard pickup for the officials working with 6 instead of 7. The injured player is Antoine Burton, the right tackle out of Temple. Ron Winter's looking over to find out if they want to take the flag for 1st and 5 or take the game.
Defense. 12 men on the field at the snap. A 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 1st down.
Meantime, with Burton still down, we'll step out for a second. This Packer drive started at the 1, now at the 12. You hear all the people talk about Red Sox Nation. As we've all seen over the years, Packers travel like the Cowboys and the Steelers as well as any NFL team. Green Bay trying to engineer the second 99-yard drive of this NFL season with a bit of a pinch nerve. John Lynch awaits on the sideline. Antoine Burton was helped off by the medical staff. 1st and 5 after the too many men flag. Old school formation, and Grant runs right through the Bronco defense. 1st and goal for the Packers. Ryan Grant was acquired via a trade with the Giants. He had 3 carries in the game against San Diego, 3 in the game against Minnesota, so he's going to equal his entire NFL total here tonight. On the Giants practice squad in 05. He's going to get a look in 06, but injured his hand on injured reserve all the year. Man who had over 2,000 yards in his Notre Dame 4-year career. Toss to Grant, working right. We'll get to the 3. Let's take a peek, guys. When we started, we saw Green Bay with the fewest runs and the most passes in the NFL. 1 run and 5 passes out of the gate to start. It has gotten more balanced here as the night has gone on.
Mike McCarthy told us the other day when we asked him about the running game, which is dead last in the league, said we haven't committed to the run, said he believes in a running game in Green Bay, Wisconsin in the weather, but I won't run just to run. But if you can't run on Denver, you can't run on anybody.
They are establishing line of scrimmage. Right now, the Packers' offensive line is winning up front. They ought to stay with it, but they're empty right now. No running backs in the backfield.
On 2nd and goal, and Favre pumps left, comes back to the right corner for Driver. Driven out of bounds by Champ Bailey. Incomplete. Donald wanted the force out. The 7-time Pro Bowler pushed him out.
You'll see Favre meet me at the corner, throw the ball to that pylon. Driver goes up. Can't get them both down, gets neither of them down. Surprising formation, surprising call. On this drive, the Packers have run the football effectively. Yes. They really gave no option of run there when they went with the empty formation. 5 wide receiver look, only Brett Favre in the backfield. That's pretty much telling the Broncos defense we're throwing it.
And again, 2 officials in the right spot with a short crew. Broncos again confused on defense. Get the timeout.
They had 12 players on the field.
Got it.
They had 12 on again?
They had 12 on the field.
Maybe they think they can get away with it. This is the second time in a minute.
And third time on the drive. They had a 10-man on the field situation, and now 2 12s.
Do you think they know it's supposed to be 11? It seems to be going
Canadian
the other way.
football, is it?
Packers 3rd and goal coming up. We have 3rd and goal from the 5 in this tie game. Jarvis Moss, the first-round pick, defensive end for the Broncos, inactive tonight, in part because Simeon Rice, the 3-time Pro Bowler, who's been out with a shoulder injury the last couple of games, is active. Rice, 97, rushes off the right end on 3rd and goal. And Favre fakes the pass, runs it inside with Grant, who's brought down by DJ Williams. The ball was down. So it will not be a Dre Bly take it all the way fumble return. So Grant stopped at the 1. This is one of those 98-yard drives for a field goal.
And an excellent job by DJ Williams in the open field, making the tackle on Ryan Grant about a yard short of the end zone. Excellent open field tackle.
Is there no temptation to go here?
No.
None whatsoever,
no.
right?
Come
Take
on,
the
Tony.
points.
No.
Against the worst rush defense in the world?
No.
Okay.
Take 3.
Mason Crosby, who beat Dave Rayner in the preseason, picked the game winner in his first ever Packer game against Philly, knocks in that extra point size field goal. 98 yards for 3 points. Packers take the lead 10-7. Brett Favre led the drive. His wife Deanna, so much a part of his life, so much a part of the ups and downs. Deanna's going to join us in the booth after this. How about that?
Great way to communicate. Coach and player listen to each other on AM radio. Know what's going on.
A little controversy in Baltimore this week. Monday Night Football next week, 8:30 Eastern. First time since 2002 that a team started a drive at the 1, took it to the 1, and didn't get the touchdown, just a field goal. No return there, a touchback. So the Broncos will start from the 20, and we are thrilled to be joined by Brett Favre's wife, Deanna, here in the booth. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Author, Deanna Favre's book, as you see here, Don't Bet Against Me. It's a lot of her story about the battle against breast cancer, and we're so glad that you're doing well. And this being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the National Football League has had a lot of pink towels. There's been a lot of awareness, and it's part of what you've been doing here this month.
It's been pretty neat. I'm so appreciative to the NFL, too, for bringing awareness to this disease.
And we'll talk about some of those efforts as we go forward here. Cutler takes over from the 20, and Selvin Young runs for 4 yards to the 24. So you were the honorary captain for the Packers, and you got to go out for the coin toss with Brett. How was that?
Yes, he was a little nervous. He thought I was going to actually try to call the toss. I'm like, you didn't have to worry about that. I knew better than that.
What is it like, and we see you all the time, we show shots of you during the game, what's it like to sit and watch your husband play the game?
It's a little different for me than for you guys. It's very personal. You know, I'm hoping there's no injury. That's my biggest fear.
From the 24, 2nd and 6, and Cutler throws. It's incomplete.
That's what you wonder about as a wife. You're watching a different game than we are.
Yes.
When he does get hit, do you follow him after he releases the ball and then gets hit, or are your eyes still on him?
I am normally always watching Brett. I tell him that all the time. I see every hit. I see him slow to get up. I see all of that. Sometimes I miss the best plays because I'm watching him.
Do you not only see the hits, do you feel them?
I do. After the game, I always tell him, sometimes I feel like I played that game. I'm pretty exhausted, too.
That's not just you. That's 1,500 other women in the National Football League, the wives and girlfriends and moms, too, of all these players.
Yes.
Cutler getting away, trying to get space, and incomplete. That's the poorest drive of the night for the Broncos, and they'll go 3 and out here. The Packers will get back on the field. So Todd Sauerbrunn will come on to kick it away. And Charles Woodson back deep to receive. Didn't have a huge career as a punt returner during his time in Oakland. Only brought 53 punts back in his years with the Raiders. But you think back to when he won the Heisman Trophy in '97. Electric punt return, including a 78-yarder against Ohio State. They told us last night that when he made that return for Michigan, last time he had a punt return for a touchdown. It's been a decade. From the 34, looking for a block. And he'll be taken down at the 41-yard line. Well, Brett Favre has made so many moments on Monday night, and this is one none of us will ever forget. 2003, one day after his dad, Irv, passed away, 399 yards, 4 touchdowns. Every pass ended up in the perfect spot, and Deanna there walking off with Brett after that game. What sticks out in your mind from that night?
It was so emotional. I wanted to be on the field with him the whole time. I felt for him. I felt the pressure that he was under as well. He wanted to play so well. He wanted it to be special for his dad. And I just felt that pressure during the game and just prayed that he would have a great game so that he could be proud of it, you know, for his dad.
Certainly was in the night none of us will ever forget watching. Fake the reverse action, Ryan Grant, no game.
People do remember that game. Everybody rooted for your husband during that game. Everybody was so gratified that he had a great game. Afterwards, when he went home, what was that like? Because now he has played for his dad. Now it's just you and him alone. What did you talk about that night?
We flew straight to Brett's mother's that night. We went to Mississippi, and it was tough. I mean, losing your father, that was really hard for him, but just facing that reality and getting home and seeing everybody, it was very emotional, very hard for the whole family.
So 2nd and 10. From the 41, Brett able to get the handoff up to Ryan Grant. And a gain of 9 yards, 3rd and 1 coming up.
One of the things that everybody knows about Brett Favre and about you as well is the triumphs as well as the tragedies, the illnesses, and all that goes on. You've chosen now to be a public figure by writing a book, but before you chose to be a public figure, did you ever feel sort of trapped by the publicity? Did you ever feel, I don't want this? How hard was it for you to become public?
It was very hard for me. I was a shy little small-town girl from Kill, and just being in that situation was tough for me. I was introvert. I was not very, social, and it was tough for me.
3rd and a yard with Grant to the first down to the 48-yard line. A big stick by Nate Webster, but still the drive stays alive. And talk about you guys knowing each other from way back when, back to grade school and on through a courtship.
Look at that. Wow.
12-year courtship.
Archives.
You carried him in?
I love Brett's line because he said she knew me and loved me before the first touchdown pass was ever thrown.
Exactly. He tells me that all the time. You saw my first touchdown pass. I think it's pretty awesome.
It is. It's a wonderful part of the story as well. From the 46, 1st down. Packers leading by 3, taking over control of the line of scrimmage. And on the toss, Grant to the right without Deshaun Wynn, who's injured. Champ Bailey off the corner to make a tackle. Well, the record-breaking moment for Favre, setting the touchdown mark against Minnesota. Here's what it sounded like on the field.
Let's go, Al. Let's go. We can change the game right here.
The handshake with Aaron Rodgers. Put her in the old vice.
Great stuff.
This is 2nd and 8. And a steady run diet here. Grant continuing to pound to the 1st down. Gets right to the yellow line at the 36-yard line. Well, that ball for the touchdown pass is in Canton, Ohio at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, where Deanna and Brett and your 2 daughters will be sometime after Brett's retirement. And he's inducted into the Hall of Fame, but that's the ball.
I have to say that every time, and I know it's pronounced Favre, but every time I see the jersey, I think there's a misspelling there. Did you,
Favre.
The first time you saw it, what did you say? Did you say Favre?
I knew because I grew up, we went to, 1st through 12th grade were the same school, and I saw the name my whole life down there,
So you don't think it's a misprint like the rest of us do? Okay.
Vernon Morency is now in at running back, and Morency runs to the left into the waiting arm of Antoine Burton, back with that ankle injury. Can I read out of the book for a second, Tony? It'll answer your question. I love this, Deanna. Favre rhymes with starve. Don't worry about the order of the letters. Just say it right. There you go.
Here's what we notice when we see your husband. The incredible impishness of him, the playful quality, the fact that after a touchdown, he'll pick somebody else up and carry him off the field. Is he like that all the time, or is that just the public, Brett?
He is like that all the time. At
Does
home,
he pick you up, carry you around the house?
No, he's not picking me up. He jokes about my weight, picking me up. And I'm like, if you can pick Donald Driver up, I think you can pick me up.
Good on you. And this pass is incomplete. Champ Bailey read it and almost almost picked the pass off. It'll be third down. Deanna, before we let you go, one thing about the book that people should know, and all the guys out there, this is a book about a lot of different things, but it also for the women in your life, your moms, your wives, your girlfriends, there's important lessons in here that could help save lives with breast cancer as well.
Absolutely. Self-exams are, that's where you need to start. We need to be doing those monthly. Even men, we call them PEC exams now, because men do get breast cancer, and I've had 7 men come up to me so far that have had breast cancer.
So when you get the book, there's a lot of information in there as well, in addition to a great story. 3rd and 10. Right at the edge of field goal range here. It'll be a 53-yarder to Greg Jennings with a move, and the sideline, and Jennings, and the Packers will have 1st and goal at the 17-yard. Tony, will you ask this woman next to us to sit down?
Yeah, well, yeah, you stood up. You're totally into the game, right?
I'm still watching the game. We're on the field. Well, my husband's on the field.
When he threw the touchdown pass early in the game, how did you react to that?
You had to ask me that.
Yeah.
I was on my way up here, so I had to hear it.
You missed it?
I heard it on my way here.
Let me tell you something. It was good. Beautiful.
I know.
7 2-minute warning. We say goodbye to you to PTI. We say thank you to
keep
Deanna.
Deanna, and I'll just leave. It's okay.
Actually,
she's better than I am, prettier than I am, more animated than I am. I'm gone.
I'll tell you that. Go to the shower. Thanks, Deanna. Stu Scott here in Denver. Chris Berman back in the studio. Toyota halftime show coming up. The fastest 3 minutes with Boomer. All the big highlights from Week 8. Pardon the interruption with Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon. Before we go any further, Deanna Favre wanted to make sure she said hi to Brittany and Breeley, their 18 and 8-year-old daughters back in Green Bay. So I told her, just tell the girls it was Kornheiser's fault. He didn't give you a chance to get in.
We blame everything else on Tony.
Using the ground game to get down here. The Packers in the red zone from the 16. Favre screens it to Morency. Vernon with a flag down, gets to the 6. Nick Ferguson had a hand in the face gear of the former Houston Texan. Went to school at Oklahoma State. Vernon Morency now pushed to the 3rd back behind Deshaun Wynn and Ryan Grant, but a contributor here.
Personal foul. Grasping the face mask. Defense number 25. Penalized half the distance to the goal and a 1st down.
Mike, a couple things we're noticing. The Packers getting their running game going and their screen game. This is the screen play here to Morency, and you see the hand in the face to Nick Ferguson. And I had a chance to talk to Brett before the game. Yeah, he talked about the running game being stagnant, but he said we got to get our screen game going. It's an important part of their offense. They're starting to get that going.
Against this Denver team, Green Bay have only run an average of about 20 times a game already, with 14 runs here on the night. So Mike McCarthy has balanced the play calling. Ryan Grant is the back. 1st and goal. Down here once, only got a field goal. Grant. Pinball off of Ian Gold, shy of the goal line. It'll be 2nd and goal. Favre's going quick to keep the heavy personnel off the field, and Mike Shanahan calls a timeout. We have 19 guys on the field here for Denver and Green Bay, as we're getting both sets of personnel, and Favre was just trying to catch the personnel off, and Shanahan, who used the timeout to ice the kicker, and you talk about the coaches not being able to call timeout, his ability to call timeout there saved his team from having too many men on the field, and gives him his chance to get his goal line personnel on. So you say take the rule out for field goals. There, it's to Denver's advantage.
Right, but you also have a problem here now. You've used a couple of your timeouts. You'd like to have them with $1:39 left, for your 2-minute drill. You're going to go into your 2-minute situation with only 1 timeout. They've had to waste 2 timeouts because of their inability to get the right personnel on the field. Those are huge mistakes, Mike.
Let's take a look at this play. Of course, in the last 2 minutes, all replay situations are looked at upstairs, and it was clearly a pinball that sent Grant down shy of the goal line as Ian Gold hit him.
Grant is a very powerful runner. He runs behind his pads. You can see he delivers the blow moving forward. That's the kind of runner you want in short yardage and goal line situations.
Good size at 6'1", 225. Now, do we have movement up front?
Legal procedure. That is a terrible, terrible infraction by the Packers.
False start. Offense number 75. A 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Tony Moll, who got the start at right guard because Junius Costin has a sprained right ankle. Meantime, on that play, Marcus Thomas, the rookie out of Florida, who's starting for the second straight night at defensive tackle, got injured. There's the move right there.
The Packers come with their heavy personnel where they basically put tackles in at the tight end position. That's why you get the changing personnel in the goal line situation.
Second and goal, back to Grant for the run, just a couple of yards. Thomas, who was slow to get up on that last play, submarines low. And Marcus, a 4th-round pick out of Florida with first-round talent, comes up to make the play, and a timeout is taken here. It's to be taken by the Broncos.
Again, Mike Shanahan choosing to use his timeouts here to save some time when they get the ball back for their 2-minute drill. Either the Packers will get a field goal here. They would take the lead 13-7 with that, or they will score and put Denver down 17-7. But either way, Mike Shanahan wants to get some time on that clock for his 2-minute drill.
Just so you know, Marcus Thomas, I mentioned he was their 4th-round pick with first-round talent. Denver traded a couple of picks to move up and go get him. He was brought in for a personal pre-draft interview by Mike Shanahan. Thomas had a positive marijuana test in August of '06 in Gainesville. He had signed a contract with Florida to stay clean, do extra testing and curfew. But he went to Orlando on a road trip after a win of a game about a year ago. Somebody took pictures, sent it to the Florida athletic staff, and they had to kick him off the team. That's why Thomas's draft stock fell, but they believe he's going to be a very good player, and Shanahan believed in him after a personal interview.
Once again, the Packers empty, no one in the backfield, and we have movement again. Chad Clifton, the left tackle, number 76, moved prematurely.
False start. Offense number 76. A 5-yard penalty. It remains third down.
Think about the things that have happened tonight, Ron, inside the 5-yard line. 2 Packer penalties. Here's the one on Clifton. We had Green Bay get down to the 1, lose yards on a run, have to settle for a field goal on a 98-yard drive. And for Denver, Jay Cutler from the 1 has his left guard come over and slap the ball away, causing a fumble. All these plays from inside the 5, keeping the score down.
I sense a negative trend, Mike.
Yes. So it's 3rd and goal, now back at the 9. And Favre with a fire. Driver couldn't get to the right spot. Incomplete. Field goal unit coming on.
Actually, Brett had Donald Driver. They came with that cluster formation or bunch formation. 3 wide receivers tight to the formation. Spaghetti, you sometimes call it. You'll see Donald Driver hooks it up right at the goal line, and this one just got away from Brett Favre. This one had some smoke on it. Woo! Look at him come through that one, but he's wild high, and he knows it.
To miss on the quarterback there, right?
Pardon me?
To miss on Favre.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No doubt. Crosby on for a second field goal. Good from 19. From 26. So the Packers have had 2 long, time-consuming drives, 2 field goals to show for it. They lead 13-7. We'll start you for the season and take you all the way to the NBA Finals on ABC. The NBA season starts Wednesday on ESPN and starts tomorrow night with our friends over on TNT. Wish them the best for their season. 13-7. Packers 2 long field goal drives here in the second quarter. Another deep kick by Mason Crosby, unreturnable, and the Broncos, no timeouts, will take over at the 20. Here at the top of the hour, those of you tuning in, here's how our games transpired. Favre is 8 of 13, 147 yards. The big one to the rookie James Jones, 79 yards to tie the game at 7. Very good early drive for Jay Cutler. 2 good early drives. There are his numbers. The touchdown pass to Tony Scheffler. The fumble happened when they got down to the 1. It's really not his fault. The left guard trying to pull, slapped it out of Cutler's hands, caused the fumble. And Favre and the Packers have controlled the time and the possession here in the second quarter. Cutler with no timeouts and nowhere to go. Aaron Campbell, the Pro Bowler from a year ago, with a 1-arm sack back at the 9-yard line.
Cutler holding on to the ball far too long. It's got to come out. You'll see right here, Campman working, pushing, gets in the backfield. Cutler actually ran into that sack. He came outside the pocket. Campman makes a heck of a play. It almost looked like a face mask. It was not. He grabbed him by the jersey and the pads, pulled him down.
Go back to last year, only Sean Merriman from San Diego has more sacks than Campman, and of course Merriman missed 4 games with his suspension. Interesting here, if you're Mike McCarthy, you don't want to start giving the Broncos extra opportunities, but you have all your timeouts, and he chose not to try to keep the Broncos against the ropes. That disparity of plays by quarter. Selvin Young runs to the 15. Green Bay will stop it here with a timeout. And 33 seconds left, and 3rd and 15. And if you're just tuning in, Travis Henry, 6th leading rusher in the league coming into this week. Rib injury. Going to give it a go before the game, but out for the game. So Denver's running is turned over to the rookie, Selvin Young. Let's go down to the field and more on Jay Cutler from Michelle Tafoya.
What I've noticed about Cutler, Mike, is just his calm and he doesn't get fazed by things. After the fumble earlier when he was down on the goal line, he came off the field and he just kind of sat down, looked at Polaroids, he pointed at himself like, yeah, that was my bad. And then just even after the sack, he got right back up, looked over to the sideline for the play. When he was waiting to come back on the field, Mike, he was joking around with the guys with the Gatorade bottles. He is very calm and just having a good time down here.
You meet him, and he's got that laissez-faire appearance to him via his personality, but he's all business when he gets going. Behind Stokely, incomplete. Now, you got 30 seconds left. Sauerbrunn has a big leg. He'll punt the ball. If the Packers can get any kind of a decent return, they may be a play away from a long field goal attempt. Mason Crosby, their kicker, kicked at Colorado. He can kick them from 55 or 60 yards. So the Packers may have a chance to add 3 more, depending what the net is on this Sauerbrunn punt.
Well, Mike, you informed us when you were covering him in college, Crosby, that you saw him at practice kick 70-yard field goals.
Big leg, strong kicker. Sauerbrunn same. Put the rush on. Sauerbrunn skies it 54 yards. Woodson from the 32 with very little help to block. He's down at the 38-yard line. 19 seconds and a couple of timeouts. So on this night, we're watching Brett Favre, who is easily eclipsing Peyton Manning as they both continue the meter on their consecutive start record. This 244 for Brett tonight. Most touchdown passes NFL history. He's added 1 to that record that he broke week 4 in Minnesota, passing Dan Marino. And one that matters the most to him is the one that was set by the guy who did a bunch of that winning right in this city. John Elway's 148. Favre now at 152 and working on a 6-point lead with a 5-1 Packer team before halftime. Vernon Morency is the back. 5 in the pattern. Favre pressured by Marcus Thomas. Slides before the line of scrimmage. A penalty marker down, as he was touched down by Dominique Foxworth.
Holding. Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It was on Jason Spitz, the big Packer play of the first half, this touchdown.
And it was Brett Favre off the play action fake. He has James Jones to his right. Looks at the safety, keeps him in center field. Jones with a nice stutter go. This ball in the air. 46 yards from Favre's hands to Jones' hand, and then 39 yards across the field to the end zone. Outstanding execution by Brett Favre's arm and James Jones's legs.
The last Packer rookie to catch a pass that long, reception that long, Max McGee, late Max McGee, who passed away. He did it 55 years ago, 1952. Another flag down as Morency runs to the 39. Champ Bailey the tackle, 4 seconds left. And we've got another flag.
Marcus Thomas down in the field also, Mike.
Holding. Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Mentioned the last Packer rookie to ever catch that long, Max McGee, who was laid to rest in suburban Minnesota, in Minneapolis, I should say, yesterday or this past weekend. That one-arm catch from behind. Of course, after Boyd Dowler was injured on the 3rd play of the Super Bowl, McGee, who legendary storytellers will remind you, was out late at night, didn't think he was going to play, was hungover, but still went out and made the catch and made the play in Super Bowl I. The Packers win 35-10. Favre takes a knee, take it to the locker room. Green Bay gets the ball to start the 3rd. It's 13-7 Green Bay here in Denver. Now Chris Berman, Toyota halftime.